Hi guys, and welcome back to Brew Review Made, and thanks for the lovely comments. My hand is fine. It's quite embarrassing how little it looks. Looks like a little scratch, but it was quite a nasty cut at the time. But anyway, we're all healed up now, and we're back in the workshop. So I did a little bit of work off camera, and I've got all the drawers in now. As you can see, they all come out, and we got the soft close, putting them back in. Very soft close, but yeah. I made these drawers very, very quickly. I didn't do any dovetail joints. Basically, I made drawers how you should have made drawers, so didn't want to show that process in this video because at some point in the future, I'll be revisiting this and doing the drawers properly. But I'm trying to get this project done as quick as possible because I've got other things to do. Right now, what we are going to move on to is this, because right now, I'll throw a picture up on screen. I have an extension cable that is basically screwed to my desk, so when I'm in bed I can still charge my phone and do all that stuff. So I've bought one of these and I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to wire in an extension cable in the back and try and find some cover to, hide all these connections, so if I ever go into the back of this I don't accidentally zap myself. But right now what we're going to do is we're going to inlay this into the table here, so when I'm in bed I can charge my phone and do all sorts of good things. So we'll get on with that. Right, so I have marked everything out. It's all ready to go. I'm also having to stand on top of a stool to be able to reach this. So hopefully I don't hurt myself. But we'll go ahead, we'll plunge down, and we'll cut out the shape. There's a little block out. I'm gonna go clean this hole up off camera, and we'll come back to install the whatever this thing's called. Right, so this now fits in here. I've chosen it all out so it slots in there perfectly now, and I've also wired it all in. If you are going to attempt to do this at home, just remember that I'm certified to do this. My job is a maintenance man at a hotel, and I've gone through all the relevant courses and I've got the documentation to say that I can do this safely. And when I do go back to work, I will be borrowing all the relevant equipment to be able to test this to make sure there's no ground earth loop faults or anything like that. So just remember, when messing around with electricity, it can be very dangerous. If you haven't got everything hooked up right, you can very easily and quickly. So don't follow this video as a guide. Do your own research, take your own risks, do all that stuff. But I'm confident this is okay. So disclaimer out the way, let's get on with it. So we'll go ahead. I'll put this on. Oh my God, I've made a mistake. Oh, how did I not notice this? Jesus Christ. Right. So you see here, I've cut it out so it's like this, so it's flat. I didn't realize these holes need to be drilled into something, because right now that's just drilling into thin air. I am thick. I should have checked that. God damn it. Right. We'll be back soon after I figure out something. Right, guys. So here is my little fix. I've basically just put 2 bits of plywood in the other side. And yeah, so it has something to screw into. Not the prettiest, but you're not going to be able to see on the inside of here anyway. So, yeah, it's going to be all right. This is my desk, so I'm not bothered about how perfect it looks on the inside where you can't see. If I was doing this for a customer, I'd do it a much nicer job. But this is for me, and I'm trying to get it done quick. So, got it in. I'm going to screw it in. We have to use some longer screws now. So, let's put these in. Hopefully, these normal wood screws are going to be good enough and the top will still click on. The thing is about these type of what do you call it? These type of outlets where they have a top that just clicks on instead of screws on, is that they're an absolute pain in the ass, because the majority of the time these just, if you hit them, the top comes back off and stuff. So once I'm doing the final fit up and I'm putting it in my room and stuff, I'm gonna put some double-sided tape along here, so I'm able to take it off in the future, but it's just not gonna pop off by itself. All right, that's on now. Right, so here's the back view of everything. These are the plugs that are holding in the outlet. This is to stop any fingers going through the top. And I've also put one of these little stoppers in so I can tugging this as hard as I want, and these wires aren't going to get ripped out and you know, cause an issue, sparking a fire, blah blah blah. So yeah, that's another safety measure. And I've also got this as well to put over the top of here, because the drawers are here, and I mean, you're never going to be able to get your finger over that or anything, but let's just be real. Let's say you've got some metal that's sticking out of there and it's touching against there, and you can, you know, it's better to be too safe than sorry. So we're putting this over the top here. Sorry, I didn't realize that my head's in the way. But there are safety measures. Now, no matter how you get in, no fingers or little bits of metal are going to get in there. So we know we're nice and safe with that now. However horrible it looks. I was originally planning to make this space into a storage area. I was going to put shelves here, but I'm running out of time with this project. I've got a million and one things to do. So I'm just going to leave this space open for now, and I'll revisit it back in the future. Maybe I'll just put some longer drawers in the future instead of having all this space back here. But now, drilling a hole for our cable to come through and clean all the inside of this out. Then we're going to plug all the holes with some filler, wait for that to dry. That's going to be ready to sand, and then we can move on to the tabletop and the legs, and then eventually paint everything and get it all done. So let's crack on. Right, so I've cut these out of some just spare steel I had laying around. These are going to be for the table legs. This is what are going to hold the table legs to the table. So I've marked everything out. These blue dots are just roughly where they're going to go. I've actually scribed in where everything needs to go exactly with my verniers, calipers. I've forgotten what they're called, something along those lines. So what we're going to do is go ahead, punch all the holes out, then we're going to drill it. I haven't got any oil to drill through these, so we're going to see how drilling through them dries. So let's get ready for some blunt drill bits. And yeah, I'll get cracked on. Right, so I completely forgot. I actually bought some silicone lubricating spray. Not quite sure how it's going to be like for this. You know, it's not like tapping fluid or anything like that, but it's going to be better than doing it dry. So let's give it a go. Let's do a little bit on there, and we'll start drilling. This drill bit is, I think it was already blunt, so I'm going to go try and find a new drill bit. Right, so I've got a sharp drill bit. The only problem is though it's undersized by a millimeter, so what I'm going to have to do is use this drill bit to drill through, and then hopefully I can use my other blunt drill bit to drill all the way through. I'm not very good at sharpening drill bits, but if it comes to it, I'll try and give it a go. Usually when I try sharpen them though, they end up being more dull. So spray some more of this, even though it's useless, and we'll carry on trying to drill. Let's swap the drill bits around, and let's hope this blunt drill bit can make the last millimeter or so. Right, let's go. She's truly blunt, so I'm going to go off camera, try sharpen this, and we'll go from there. Right, I've managed to actually successfully sharpen this drill bit, so let's hurry up and get on with it. It's actually been the first drill bit I've managed to sharpen without making it more blunt. So, not gonna lie, a little bit proud of myself right now. Let's crack on. Countersink these holes to, you know, make sure the heads can recess into the piece of metal. one done. You can see we got countersunk on these three sides. This is what's going to go into the leg, and then these two sides here are what's going to go into the table. So that just needs a little lick of paint, and then that's done. And I'll do the rest off camera. So I've got all these cut out now, and I've marked out where these are going. I've marked it out with pencil, but just so it's easier for you to see on camera, I've done it. You know, I've gone over the inside with what do you call it, a pen. So I don't have an easy way of clamping this down whilst using the router, so don't try this at home. Don't be me, find a better way, because you know, this could easily go wrong. But we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. I used the same trick to set the router as I showed last time in the video, so if you want to know what I'm on about, go check out the last video. But the depth is all set now, so we're going to go down to that stop, and we're going to carve out this. We're not going to go right up to the line. We're going to come back with a chisel so it's nice and clean, but we're going to take out the majority of the material with the router. So let's go. Right, so they're all cut out with the router now. We'll grab a chisel and we'll very carefully try and go up to that line. Very, very soft. Just slowly, just go along. Hopefully that's the right size. My chisel went a bit rogue here, so there's going to be a bit of a gap there. But I'm hoping that this is slightly oversized anyway, you know, just to account for some wood movement and stuff. But yeah, that fits in. It's got enough clearance either side for wood to expand and contract, even though this is barely even going to move anyway. Sits nice and flush, so that's good. I'm going to do the rest of these off camera, and I'll come back to you. Back in the workshop, it is a new day. These are all nice and painted now. So the next job we've got on, which I'm not looking forward to, is sanding. Everyone loves a bit of sanding, don't they? So I'm going to start sanding these legs, and then after I've done sanding that, I'm going to sand down this and then paint it, and then we can move on to the desk, and then we are so close to getting this table finished. I'm just going to go ahead, sand it, finish it, put it all up, and yeah, we'll crack on with that. I'll set you up for a time lapse and we'll go. Right, so you just watched me do a time lapse. I'm just waiting for these to dry so I can finish putting all the you know, like lacquer and all that good stuff on. I've also sanded all this. I did that off camera just because I didn't want, you know, this whole episode to be me sanding. So everything's sanded now. We've got it all masked up. I'm going to get some spray paint and we're going to go ahead and spray it. But yeah, hopefully those drawers come out looking fine. They're looking a little bit patchy, but to be honest, I don't have time to redo them, so we're just going to have to stick with it. But I'm going to stop talking and we'll go on with our spray paint. Right, so we're done with the painting now. Off camera, I put some lacquer on the drawer fronts, and I also went out and bought some handles and put them on too. This is how the drawers are looking now. They look very nice. I'm not entirely happy with the gaps that are there, and because of the sanding, it's a bit, it's not perfect. It's my first ever attempt at making drawers, so for how it's gone, I'm not too upset about it. If I was doing this for a customer, I'd scrap the drawer fronts and I'd do it all over again. But I can live with that for now. And I'm doing the drawers again in future anyway. And I've also bought some roll-on paint because I was gassing myself out with spray paint. But it's left quite a glossy finish. It's not fully dried yet because it's an oil-based paint. It takes like 14, 18 hours or something to dry. So hopefully it dries matte. But I think I'm just gonna sand it smooth once it's dried, and then just quickly go over the top with my spray paint, since that gives the best finish. But yeah, we're completely done with those drawers. We're also done with the legs down there, so I can finally crack on with the tabletop. So that's going to be next video, and hopefully we can get this table finished soon, because I really need a new desk, and I also need my workshop space back, and I've got more projects I want to do. So stick around for the next episode. That's the end of this one, and I'll see you next episode.